Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Madden 20 franchise rebuild, and we have now won 4 Super Bowl titles in this series. It's been a really fun series, but as I've mentioned, I am now looking to wind the series down and get ready to end it. Now, we're not to that point quite yet because there are still some key players that we want to watch the careers of. So what we're going to do, as we've now made it to 7 Super Bowls, winning 4 of them, 24-7 in the postseason. What a career for J.W. Unger. What we're going to do is go through this offseason as we normally would, although I'm now thinking about how to set this team up for the future when I do end up with a long-term sim. So we're going to do some sped up seasons until Tyrus Sparks does choose to retire. So next episode could very well be an entire season or most of a season. We'll see how things unfold, but now I think we're just waiting to see when does QB1 Tyrus Sparks retire. Might not be for a few years. His ratings are still really good. He is a true 92 overall. But we'll just have to see. I know we're starting to get some things going with our running game and Ellis Norton and how successful he's been alongside Brendan Galloway coming off a successful rookie season. But we just won the Super Bowl, our second in 3 years, and our second that really felt like a team that wasn't as complete, but we are just more advanced than much of our competition. I mean, we have 5 X Factors on defense, plus a superstar in Damian Burgess. And then on offense, we all know about the offensive line and some of our playmakers, and we're only getting better there with the addition of Clinton Mills coming off a nice rookie season. But that's going to be the game plan here. Go through seasons a lot quicker, maybe a season per episode. And now I'm not sure we're going to watch any playoff games unless they're extremely intriguing or the Super Bowl. But once Tyrus Sparks does retire, that's going to trigger a 10-year simulation. I'll probably do either one final offseason at that point and then set the team up, hopefully with a brand new quarterback, or I'll just sim and we'll see what happens. So regardless, we'll know exactly the full career for Ellis Norton. We will go through until the key players are all gone. But with that being said, we must begin the offseason, and we start out with some big free agent decisions, and we have some tough ones here. Kevon DeVoe, Joe Coakley. I know I took care of some of the other contracts, so I didn't leave myself with a ton to do here. I do want to bring back William Lindsley, just not at $8 million a season. We are able to bring back Travion Kendall on a 2-year contract. Not that one. It was more like $1 million a season. Pretty good for a second-year undrafted running back. That's really good money. That's like, what, second-round money, roughly, per year? But at this point, we're sitting on about $47 million in cap space, and that is going to go away very quickly as we do make moves. I think I'm going to franchise tag Kevon DeVoe to keep him around for another season, and that gives us time to find a potential replacement. But he's going to be about $20 million a year. I'm not sure what the tag is going to be exactly, but that'll eat up maybe even half of our cap space. I absolutely do not want to lose Joe Coakley though, so I really don't want to be cheap with a lot of these negotiations. Don't just bump it up by $100K. I'm thinking I have to do more like $400,000 or $500,000 to try and make sure that Coakley doesn't test free agency. Coakley will sign the 1-year deal. But a couple players who are not going to be around going forward, Kendall Gabriel and Dennis Lewis, they were pretty good. Solid players, good contributors, and I'm interested in where they end up. Gabriel's going to get paid, and Lewis will get a nice contract as well. Alright, got Anton Blackburn under contract. That's a 2-year deal. Even less cap space around now. Probably going to let Tony Tyson test as we're only around $20 million in space. I think we have to take a look now. What is the tag for Kevon DeVoe? Because this right here, if we gave him this contract, it's already over 20 a season, and I don't want to do that. I sent the 1-year offer, he declines, and the tag is worth 18. Okay, I thought the tag would be more. But I believe the franchise tag formula is the top 5 at that position. The average per year salary of those top 5 paid players is the tag. I think that's how it works. So, got pretty lucky there. But that leaves us with very, very little space. So we're definitely not going to be able to keep around Metcalf. I doubt we can keep around Bradfield. I was hoping to sign one of them. I think that I can still sign one of our linemen. But this is what happens when you have all these big contracts. All of a sudden your depth is gone and you're an injury away from being in deep trouble at certain positions. Let's go Seymour here, more well-rounded, maybe more guard tackle flexibility. 860 sound good? That is like so underpaid though. He's like 72 overall. Michael Alonso played kicker and punter last season. We're not even in the position to pay a punter $2 million right now. Like, this is all about finding solutions in the draft at this point, because what do I have in cap space? Like 3-4 million at this point? $4.23 million. That is it. And here are the reasons why. Here are the greatest cap numbers for this season. You know, $40.6 million for Tyrus Sparks. It's going up next year. 2035, we get a lot of relief. Because what happens here, signing bonuses are distributed through the first 5 years of a contract, or the entire thing if it's under 5 years. But if it's like 7 years, it's still 5 seasons. So the relief comes very late in the deal. So it's a good idea if you have like a star quarterback that you know is going to be around for a long time. You can sign them to a 7 or 8 year deal, and you know that 5 years are going to be high numbers during their best years, but hopefully the cap number dips when their play dips as well. We don't see a lot of quarterback contracts like that in real life, by the way, because quarterback markets, they're constantly going up, and who wants to sign a deal that they can't re-up for 8 seasons? Also, there's a lot of injury risk in the NFL, and there's just so many differences compared to something like baseball, where you do see like 10-year contracts, which is still somewhat surprising to me because those players aren't able to negotiate like after 5 years, but I guess $300 million for 10 years is not something to really think too hard about. Oh yeah, Bryce Harper's is a 13-year contract. That's forever. 13 years. Anyway, here are the cap numbers. It's all of our really good players. Simple as that. This is probably not the year we have to make cuts. Next year, I think that there is that potential because all these cap numbers are just rising. And then you have to look at like, okay, does it make sense to have 2 of the top paid off-ball linebackers and 2 of the top paid interior offensive linemen? That's just not typical roster construction, but we've made it work here for the time being. So as we sit right now, we're looking at either Seymour starting at tackle or I have to draft somebody. These are not spots we can fix now in free agency without making cuts. And I knew that coming into this. I think that we can still look at moving Bailey to safety potentially. Maybe Dwayne Trawick moves over to strong. I know this was suggested by the chat that Bailey would be a great free safety. And certainly I think his skill set would fit that really well. And it would hide kind of the man coverage weakness a little bit. But we'll just have to see how things unfold. The other option is just to trade Bailey and get cap space that way. We would get a pick and like 14 million in cap space. So I'm putting him on the trade block just to see, although I'm not going to get any offers for a bit, and the best round of free agency is the first one. So this is where all the top players are going to be signed, including Martin Woodard, who's going to get paid as a 30-year-old running back in 2033 or whatever it is. Thaddeus Steed, Lindsey Bird, George Kittle. Not a ton of 80 overalls here. All right, Kendall Gabriel could be headed to the Patriots on a nice contract. Lamar Jackson is available, but will likely stay with the Ravens. Dennis Lewis, no bids for him yet. Baker Mayfield. I've put out 2 offers, a small one to William Lindsley and a small one to Solomon Metcalf. There's not much else I can do. I'll just try to get back some of our familiar players at a low salary if possible. Oh wow, Zeke Bragg is available. I just know how good he's been in this series, and even if he's a 75, like I want him on the team. This is like a Rashawn Castle situation. So this probably won't work either. But 1 year, leaving us with $600K in free agency cap room. I will be shocked if I win any of those, but they're lower rated players. So there is a chance, and I've certainly won my fair share of these before. So on to the next round. Metcalf signs the deal. So if he starts at tackle, that's potentially an option. That's just in case, I don't want to go tackle in like the first round. At least I'm starting good players, decent players. Alright, that means that solutions need to be found in the draft, and we're sitting on 2 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks, no 5, no 6, but 2 7s. Let's get to business. One of my favorite players in this class by far is Deshaun Dotson, the cornerback from Oklahoma State. Early first-round talent, late one projected. I think we'd have to move up for him, but he'd absolutely be worth it. With B pluses across the board, the 3 most important skills here at corner in the game. I think regardless of scheme too, because man coverage is so broken, like man coverage being good hardly matters. And I think we have to have that conversation about what do we do at linebacker, because having Caver, having Parson, both of them high paid at the same time, like that can't happen forever, most likely. So I'm going to be hopefully finding some more players here at linebacker, but it's not a great class. Carson Manley might be the best at inside linebacker. Certainly with that mid-1 talent, I'm interested. But if we miss on a player like him, I could still be interested in somebody like Quandre Barnett from Massachusetts, who would be a good coverage linebacker. Another idea is to take somebody like Evan Stallworth, who is more of a run stopper, and develop him to be more well-rounded. Wow, contract accepted by William Lindsley and rejected by Zeke Bragg. All right then, 5th-year option. Who is it this season? Leonard Lester. All right. Probably going to have to make this deal. He is our younger of the 3 strong interior players, the youngest one. Obviously, we have to keep him a priority. I have $1.6 million in cap space. I wonder what I could do with it. Well, I couldn't sign Will Wilds. He's about to get paid again. Great career for him. Very lucrative career, too. I know that backup quarterback's now taken care of. I know that Chat's going to want Ollie Sparks, but he's about to get paid by the Packers. Now, there are needs at kicker and punter, and I have been working on scouting, and the kicking class isn't looking too great. So, can I potentially sign an adequate kicker here, prioritizing accuracy over anything? Yeah, there aren't a lot of great kickers in this league at all. So I think we're going to have to either draft somebody, or Warren Galloway at least has 81 kick accuracy. Yeah, this kicker class I just don't think is all that promising. I'm not really sure what C+ accuracy translates to, but I'm guessing it's high 60s or in the 70s somewhere. First round talent though, we saw those kickers that I wasn't that impressed by. They were low 70s overall. And all first round talent basically means here is that he's a low 70 overall. So I'm not really impressed. How about the punters? Might have to draft a punter in this class, and the punters are certainly better. But also, we have to think about, like, we don't know when Tyrus Sparks is going to call it a career. We have no idea. So I should be preparing every offseason like it's his final season. DeMarcus Wake from North Dakota State, 5'11", 217, runs 4.67 and throws good short and medium accuracy balls. Probably a developmental mid-60s overall player. For the first round options, I mean, John Taney looks solid here. He's probably going to go early depending on how much teams need quarterback. I should probably scout the rest of these quarterbacks, though. Okay, we have trade offers for DeJuan Bailey. Now, what would wow me here enough to make a deal? Probably a first-round pick and more. Not just the first-round pick. Probably unrealistic expectations. Oh, come on! What are these offers? Really? A 71 overall linebacker? For DeJuan Bailey? Anyway, back to quarterbacks. Cam Graves, second round talent. Kind of an Adam Kane-esque top 3. All right, throw power, accuracy, throw power under pressure. Chris Stewart, maybe. Clayton Cole. No. Ronnie Wynn. First round talent here. Good throw power, throw on the run, and short accuracy. Okay. Let's finish out the scouting here, though. Those are all the draftable quarterbacks. And I guess earlier in the year, I was scouting undrafted quarterbacks. After a while, I have no clue what to do with my points. We've already made it to the draft. Wow, this is a really fast offseason, but free agency was not very eventful. Basically, right now, the draft is all about filling any holes on the roster and then preparing for the future. Do we have Coakley next season? I think that there's a possibility that we have to move on, whether he regresses. I don't think it'll be super serious, or if it's just not going to fit anymore salary-wise. I think that if you count all the players whose salaries are going to go up, that'll take away, what, $15 million? If I have like 7 guys getting a boost to their cap hit, at least $1 million, 1.5, something like that. That's the kind of thing you got to account for here. But where I think we get the most relief is probably not having Kevon DeVoe next season. That would give us a ton of relief. But that means we have to look at maybe an edge rusher. I know I drafted Larimore, and I've been kind of playing with him as an all-around off-ball linebacker. He could always go and play edge. He's flexible enough there. But regardless, he has a role on the team. I'll just kind of see what opportunities the draft gives me. Like, if I can get a really good tackle, I should take it. If I can get a corner, I should take it. And we'll just have a very flexible approach today. We've added an extra 3rd round pick, though, by trading Dominique Dunn to the Indianapolis Colts. I just wanted another pick for more depth in this draft. And we had plenty of corner depth on the team with Beekman, Bailey, and Tandy. Dunn was in the last year of his career, or the last year of his contract, so I didn't think he'd be on the team a year from now regardless. And the draft is underway, everybody! Welcome! The Minnesota Vikings are on the clock with the number 1 pick. And the Minnesota Vikings select Jazeer Garrison, tight end from South Carolina. All right, here is a look at the draft board then, the available board. I think right now, I'd love to select Deshaun Dotson. Now, I'm thinking of maybe trading up into the teens for him because I know Beekman's getting older. I've been questioning Bailey, and I just really want Dotson on the team. He's like one of those blue chip talents I just can't pass on. So he's 25 on the available board, and at corner, he is 6th. Now, the names we want to see go first are McClellan and Yancey. We'll see how far the other ones fall. But a lot of players just don't fall because they're overrated. They have to be like really overrated, like a 6th round talent. Even then, you never know what's going to happen here. But we got some simming to do. So far, so good. There's the first corner, Kelvin Williams, then Chris Meeks. There's Tevin McClellan at 78. We'll wait for the other one I called out to go. Dion Raymond is taken. Gilchrist is taken. John Taney off the board, number 1 quarterback. Matthew Whitehead, who skipped the combine. Mason Lehman. How about the Chiefs? Luther Yancey. All right, so now we're talking about having to potentially go up. I have 4 third-round picks. I really do. That's pretty sweet. Cornerback is San Francisco's top need. I think it's time to consider moving up. All right, so far it's not super easy, but we have 4 third-round picks. Ooh, we can get this done, though. I think it'll have to be our top 2 third-round picks. And that will get the deal done. We have moved up to 18. I am not missing on the player I want this year. Okay? I have not won these situations enough. I usually come out the loser. I'm drafting Deshaun Dotson. And he is a 77 overall hidden dev corner. Dotson is 22. He runs at 91 speed, 80 zone coverage, 72 man coverage, and 80 press. These ratings are very, very similar to DeJuan Bailey's. All right, pretty happy with that. And now we pick at second round, pick 8. So it's not that long of a wait now, as we'll let the first round unfold a bit. After giving up 2/3, probably not looking at too many trade-ups. But I guess never say never. Matt Whitaker, 21, late first talent at center. This would help us move on from potentially somebody like Joe Coakley. Not that I want to think about replacing him, but Whitaker is one of the best players available right now. Other offensive line options include Denzel Hakeem, who's 21 years old, early first round talent with 39 bench reps. Wow, that's really interesting. And then at tackle, Perry Forbes, mid-first talent from Ole Miss. Whitaker goes right here to Miami. All right, that's a solid pick. Michael White, Riley Armstrong, some lower-rated picks here. Come on, CPU, gotta step your game up. You gonna take the player I want, New England? Nope, not even close. All right, I think it's a pretty easy decision right here. I think that we have to go with the elite talent in Denzel Hakeem. Early first talent in the second round. Welcome to Tampa, 75 overall, normal dev. That's a little unlucky. Early first round lineman, you hope that, they have that hidden dev. Doesn't always happen. Definitely a couple things to clean up here skill set wise. Maybe a lower ceiling because of no development above normal, but still solid. And in the second round, that's a good pick. Certainly a better pick than most of what the CPU is doing right now. A lot of mid-70s, or mid-60s coming off the board, one after another. Evan Stallworth, okay, he was solid. Suddenly now, all the teams that made the playoffs are making better draft picks. Wonder how they got in that situation. I am on the clock once again now. Late second round, third pick of the day, and 28 players are on my board, but many of those are punters and quarterbacks. All right, right here, bottom of the second round, we're going to take Ronnie Wynn. We don't pick until late third, and that's when teams, start going quarterback is in that third round. And I want to draft Ronnie Wynn right here. Another first round talent. Welcome to Tampa. Normal dev, though. Ronnie Wynn is a 74 overall with 88 throw power. An interesting accuracy split here. 82 deep, 77 medium, 83 short, and 80 speed. 85 throw on the run. A lot of really good ratings here. And with a year or multiple to develop, could Ronnie Wynn be the quarterback of Tampa's future? Oh, wow. Perry Forbes, 75. I want to say he was mid-1 talent, but, there are still, tiers within tiers. An early first-round talent can be like a 79, or he can be like a 75. You're never sure if you're on the high end of the tier or the low end, and Perry Forbes would certainly be closer to early first-round talent. I think he was mid-1, because I know I checked, but I miss details all the time. And I'm obviously moving pretty quick today. It's been a fast off season. All right, late third. And now this is a critical selection because we're not picking again. Okay, we have these two, then our 4, and then the big break. So I think that they kind of messed up my plans at linebacker. So I'm not going to find a great Parson or Caver replacement here. I have some guys I like developing, but probably not as high a ceiling as some rookies. Chuck Roll is a run stopper. He'd play tackle in our scheme. He'd be a really good run stopper. I know I've mentioned I wanted to address that run stopping role, so let me do a quick refresh on our defensive tackle situation. Because I'm now viewing Forrest as more just a rush defensive tackle, and that's kind of it. And I think that'll be a fine role for him. It allows me to dump more points into just pass rush archetypes. I'm just worried about that 83 strength. That's hard to get better, and there's just too much work into making him a more complete player. So Jimmy Fitzpatrick is a backup, and then Anton Blackburn is our current top run stopper. 85 strength, 77 finesse moves. So not just, a one-role player. I like Blackburn. I had to sign him. So with that being said, does it make sense then to draft a tackle? Do I think Chuck Roll has more than 85 strength? At 35 reps, I do. With B block shed, I'm expecting like a 74, 75. And then I hope that at early 2 talent, I might get lucky and get star development. His 40 wasn't terrible. His cone wasn't terrible. So maybe there's a little pass rush in his skill set as well. I think he's going to be very similar to Anton Blackburn. Ultimately, I got to do something with this pick. And I think that probably is the best thing to do with it. Unless I can get a future 2. Let's see. Because we're late 3rd round at this point. Yeah, these, no good. So Chuck Roll, welcome to Tampa. The newest draft pick. Normal dev again, 3rd straight. 69 overall. And I'll be very happy if strength is at least like an 87, 88. 88, okay. 76 speed, 76 block shed, 75 power move. So I think he's similar to Blackburn, but he's better. More upside, stronger, better on day 1 in some areas than Blackburn is right now. I like it. And that is my thought process in motion. But the fun is only beginning. I have another pick here coming up. But I'm running out of options already on the board, and Tevin McKenzie was just selected, so there's even one less. We're already at 12 players, 3 punters, 1 receiver I didn't fully scout, who had a 5'6" combine. Sorry, DeMarcus Moss. So 11 players. I know I'm not addressing defensive tackle again. Nicholas Slade. The combine wasn't great. 23, not a scheme fit, off the board. Probably looking at a trade down, honestly. Or a trade out. Future 3, future 7. Thank you, Oakland. They move up for Hal Cassidy from Cal. Alright, we pick late 4. And then it's going to be 7th round punter. And then probably just going to find a player I think is interesting. Late 4th round, everybody. I'm thinking maybe safety here. Marquand Cheeks. He's still available. He's a 3rd round talent. And he ran a 4.72, which translates to low 80s speed. Alright, probably not going to select Marquand Cheeks. I know he's going to be a worse player, but I want Ricky Livingston here instead. I limit myself to 1 trade for the future a year. I made it. And now I'm going to reach. I know it. I know I can take a player who's better 3 rounds of talent, but I'm looking at individual skills here. Ricky Livingston, welcome to Tampa. Normal dev, 60 overall, 6'3". Catching was his best trait, which is really out of the ordinary for safety. Not even sure what it was, but another backup safety. Cheeks is a 66 overall. We'll check him on the Giants and see what I passed on. I know it's 6 overall points, so you can tell already what I think about the best player available approach. I've talked about this before, but I'm honestly probably further away from the best player available mentality than most are. I think that it has its time and place, but as a universal draft strategy, I do not believe in best player available. I would say my approach to the draft is simply the puzzle approach, and what strategy gets me the most impact isn't always the one that, If the best player available is a corner, but it's a deep class, I'm probably going to wait on corner. I really don't care about getting players at a great value. I care about just identifying the players I want and getting them whenever it is. You want to be as efficient as you can, but I kind of draft my own way, I guess. All right, 7th round, everybody. We're going to select punter Blake McGuire with our next pick, because right now I have more options. All right, what do we do here? I could take Floyd Hampton, just say, okay, tackle to develop, but his bench was low. Like, low bench offensive linemen, I just don't like to select them very much. There has to be a reason Floyd Parks is falling, but he's 6'4", he runs 4.48, he's 21, and we could use another receiver. Floyd Parks is the pick. He is a 56 overall. That is very low. Might go on the practice squad. 4.48 and only 88 speed too. I've not been very good about predicting speeds based off of 40 times. There seems to be kind of a window there, and I have been very slow to identify it. All right, Mr. Irrelevant. We're going with a punter here, our last selection, Blake McGuire. Early 2nd round talent. Welcome to Tampa. The draft is now complete. I was pretty happy with it. We got my number 1 player I wanted in Deshaun Dotson. We added some really good depth, a few 1st round talents. Did not get lucky in terms of development, but that's out of my control. All you can do is take good players. The higher rated they are, usually the more of a chance they have to end up with a better development. So I think I got unlucky there, but still got very good value and solid additions to our team at a variety of spots. So let's take a look at a few other players, and we'll quickly go to the Giants before I forget, and Marquand Cheeks. I just thought it'd be kind of a slower run-stopping safety. Okay, hidden dev. What's the speed? 85 is kind of where, it's kind of my benchmark. If it's lower than 85, I'm really not that interested. If you're an 85 speed, you need to have like really good awareness, really good coverage. 83, coverage low, awareness low. So, I screwed up. You know what? Marquand Cheeks could have been the linebacker I was looking for, potentially. He would need work there as well. Needs work at safety, needs work at linebacker, but he would have been a good fit for a linebacker. I certainly never said that my approach leads to me always being right. Perry Forbes, 75 overall. Normal dev for him, 89 strength, pretty well rounded. Definitely a long-term starter. Might as well check out Matthew Whitehead here. Hidden dev, running back. Did not participate in the combine, didn't need to. You know what? I could actually understand him missing the combine as well, or skipping it, because he does not have a standout physical athletic trait necessarily. Would have probably had a pretty good 3-cone and shuttle. But as far as his speed, wouldn't blow you away. As far as the bench, wouldn't blow you away. So I get it. Alright, number 1 overall tight end, Jazeer Garrison, hidden dev. I wish they'd give tight ends a bit more speed here. 80 speed. Jake Butt has 80 speed for comparison. He is not a vertical field stretching tight end. Okay, Edward Anders, hidden dev, 86 speed. Okay, so they do have some fast tight ends in the draft. But I think 86 is like high end. Tevin McClellan, hidden dev rookie, 90 speed. 76s at coverage, not bad. I like Quandre Barnett. He went 1st round late. Normal dev at 68. Might need some development, but block shed is at 69. Zone coverage at 71. Get him 5 or 6 upgrades, and he's ready to go. I also thought that Evan Stallworth would be interesting if you just took his run-stopping skills, kept him where they were, and then developed him as a cover linebacker. That takes time, especially with normal dev and with ratings here in the mid-50s. By the way, I took the quarterback I wanted, Ronnie Wynn. and sure enough, 2 picks later, the quarterback started to go. So that was absolutely the right time to make the move if I was ever going to make it. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the game sets aside cap space for your draft picks so that you don't make a mistake in going over the cap, and I think they maybe take too much. I made a lot of picks there. I traded up in the first round. Now I have $4.6 million in space, so I got a little bit more from that rookie reserve that they held on to. So that's enough to go sign a kicker. Overall, I'm pretty happy with that. I accomplished my goals for the most part, and kicker's gonna be tricky. Really tricky. Well, can't say I didn't try. Wanted to acquire Bobby Weatherspoon from the Browns. Well, everybody, we are just going to sign Lindell McMillan then as our kicker. There aren't a lot of great kickers in our league anymore, and McMillan is the best available. He will be our kicker this season. We have enough space to bring back Brendan Hall for some added offensive line depth. And we can make a few undrafted signings, but not many. We're going to start here with wide receiver Jimmy Offord from Ferris State. We're also going to sign Zachary Spear from Missouri for some edge rush help. I think that somebody signed Floyd Hundley. I'm not seeing him here. I'd love to sign him right now because we're familiar with him. Marquise Brent here. He only has 58 catching. I think we're going to sign Edward Whalen. 82 catching, 80 speed here. A veteran from UCLA. Another preseason in the books for Tampa, and here's a look at our stats with Ronnie Wynn throwing 4 touchdowns and just 1 interception. Not bad from William Lindsley either. But could Ronnie Wynn be the quarterback that ultimately takes over for Tyrus Sparks? Only time will tell. Brendan Galloway, 2 touchdowns. Nate Battle, 3.6 a carry. Not very efficient play here from Ellis Norton. Something to keep an eye on, I guess. For receiving, how about Edward Whalen? I guess he got a lot of production then from Wynn with the backups. Hadley had a score, Ventura. Otherwise, no major standouts here. For sacks, 4 for Cassidy Seymour, who is a backup. Looks like no starters allowed a sack in the preseason. That's really good. Deshaun Dotson got some slot snaps, and he got 17 tackles. 1.5 sacks here for Forrest. A few more. And for interceptions, just 1 for Kyle Caver. And kicking, Lindell McMillan, perfect on extra points, 8 for 10 on field goals. There was a short miss. There was a long miss. And with that, everybody, we are set to begin a brand new season next episode, and I think we're going to go through the whole thing. That is the hope anyway, unless there's a major event that occurs that requires me to slow down for whatever reason. But I feel pretty good about this team. I know that it's not, dramatically different from the team that just went and won the Super Bowl, but I think that we made some good moves that'll help out our future, and we'll see how many of those players help out in the present. I think the big question now is, do we try to move Bailey or Tandy out to safety, or what do we do with that whole situation? Because regardless, I know I got to get Dotson some playing time as a rookie, and we certainly will. He could even play safety for a year. Trey Wick goes to strong safety, and then we just make moves whenever we have to again. Trey Wick has decent tackle, decent hit power. He could pull it off no problem. As a matter of fact, we could upgrade his run support right now. And he went up 2 overall points. 76, just like that. So leave your feedback down below, everybody. What do you think about this team? Are there any changes I should make prior to our first games? But I'll be simming the season. Not sure we're watching a game next time, just a heads up. But we'll see how 2033 goes for this team. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll have more Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming your way soon as we get closer to the end of the series. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you again soon.